Hey, this is Gerry Visca, the publisher of Defyeneurs, and welcome to the Influence Project, one of the most inspiring issues of Defyeneurs MAG that we have ever taken on. And man, are we excited because today we are live with Jenni Byrd Grier of North Carolina, president of David Byrd Consulting. Welcome, Jenni.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
You know, Jenni, this is an interview that I am really excited about, especially the influence that you're having on others. You know, there's a quote that you share, and I want listeners to hear it. It goes like this: all great influencers have a heartfelt view that comes from the very core of their being. I love that. So share with us, why and how do influencers shape our world?
Well, I think the main thing is that they hear and listen to their spirit rather than the noise of the crowd. You know, I don't think that they're smarter or faster or more attractive or luckier than the rest, but they have the capacity to go inside themselves and listen to that inner voice that speaks with wisdom beyond their conscious awareness. So, you know, I think influencers shape our world through the impact of their vision. You know, I say that I think they spark these brush fires, right? And everybody's kind of attracted to the fire, right? So they just spark these brush fires, and it attracts everyone to the warmth of this new idea. You know, all of our great influencers, I say, really have, like you said, they have this heartfelt view, and that comes from just the core of who they are. I think they're just everyday people, and they really are living out their purpose. I also think influencers share three common traits. I think first they have a vision. I think they have a vision for themselves and for a vision from the world. I think that this vision allows them to live above their circumstances rather than in them. And if you think of some of the great influencers of our world and of our lifetime, they did just that. They were not living in their circumstances. They were living above their circumstances. And they did this, I think, because of their steadfast vision. Secondly, I think they know their why. They know who they are, and they know why they exist. And knowing your why in life and why you're doing certain things is so important. And lastly, I think they listen to their hearts. They don't listen to the noise of the crowd. You know, I grew up, my dad was a football coach, and he always loves to tell this story that, you know, when you're a football coach and you're on 4th and 1 and, you know, the crowd's going crazy, you can't be listening to the crowd to decide if you're going for it or if you're going to kick. You have to really know. You can't. So I think influencers listen to their heart and never to the noise of the crowd.
I love it. I love that. Listening to their heart and listening to their own spirit. I think that's profound. I like how you share, you know, influencers develop that capacity to listen to that inner voice. So I think that's phenomenal. There's another quote, Jenni, that you share here. I see influence as a two-way street. It's about listening to and believing in the people around you. So share with us, what is your intention for influencing others?
You know, I think influence is really, sometimes it's not almost about intentions, it's about purpose. So I really feel that my purpose is really to help people achieve and grow. Achievement is about getting a little bit better each day. You know, one of my favorite quotes is from Abraham Lincoln, and he said this: by serving others and putting others' needs before oneself, only then can anyone truly impact the world with change. And that's why I think influence is a two-way street. I think we first have to listen. That's a big belief of mine. We have to listen, and we also have to believe in the people around us. So once we can listen and really believe in the people around us, and we can really do a job of meeting them where they are, then we have the ability to influence. And that's really a lot about what empathy is, right? When we have the ability to meet somebody where they are and try to put ourselves in their shoes and understand where they're coming from, then we have the ability to really work with a person because we believe in them. And I think, you know, as an influencer, I think influencers inspire others to rise above their own perceived limitations. You know, we all have these things called natural human instincts. And our natural human instincts like to keep us right where we are. I sometimes say that instinctively we are not encouraged to grow. So I think we have to become mindful of that, and we have to consciously fight against those natural human instincts. And I always say success does not rest in your comfort zones. So sometimes we have to step out of those comfort zones. I tell people, if you start to get uncomfortable, get excited, because that means you have stepped into the river of change. And we have to step into that river of change to reach our next level. But, when I work with individuals, I think when you can work with people, when you're listening to them, when you believe in them, when you're meeting them where they are, when you can do all of this from a position of love, you build trust. And that's when influence really starts to begin.
It's beautiful. I love it. I have an expression, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's where the growth is. And, you're on fire, Jenni, and fulfilled when you're helping others, and that's what makes you so significant and an influence on me as well. I just think that's fantastic. There's another quote you share, the energy of positive expectancy. I love that word. The energy of positive expectancy fosters a mindful awareness of each conscious moment. Share with us the change that you wish to influence in the world, Jenni.
Sometimes I feel like that can sound very daunting. The change to influence the world. That sometimes feels a bit overwhelming. And I'm the first to say that overwhelming is a feeling, not a circumstance. But that's why I really believe that my goal is to help and impact one person at a time. And I sometimes go out and do speaking engagements to groups, and it's always interesting. I have the organizer of the event will always be like, oh, if it's a smaller group, they're kind of like, oh, I'm sorry, we only have 20 people here. And if the organizer of the event has 500 people there, they're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. We have 500 people there. And I always say I don't really care about the size of the group, because my goal when I go do training or when I'm working one-on-one with anybody, my goal is to be able to really impact one person. If I impact more than that, that's great. That's great. But I really want to be able to touch and impact one person at a time. And I really want to, my desire is to influence individuals to understand the true power of their own thoughts. It's something that I have come to learn through personal experience in my life, whether through being a mom or through the workforce, but I have come to really understand the true power of our own thoughts. And so I try to help people in becoming mindful of their own thoughts, because I really think it is the quality of our thinking that either propels us forward or holds us back. And so my goal for myself and the folks that I work with is to really mindfully live moment by moment. And also I think to think proactively. I think we a lot of us go through life just reacting to the things that come at us every day. Some of us do this for months on end. And so that's why I really believe in using a system of personal management. So I help my clients by using a system of personal management. I help my clients think proactively. We talk about how to set a 5-year vision statement, how to plan tomorrow before tomorrow begins, how to plan next month before next month begins. All of these things are not things that, as our creation, that just comes naturally to us. I think we naturally know how to react to things. And so this is about learning how to think proactively. So this system of personal management kind of becomes like your helmet in this game of life. And like I said, that proactive mindset, it doesn't just happen naturally, but it is a key to growth and achievement. So I focus on helping people think proactively, helping them take ownership of their own lives so they can really start to live a life of abundance, because abundance starts in our thinking first.
I love it. Think proactively, and I love how you focus on one person at a time, Jenni. That's fantastic. I just want to stay on this for a bit. You seem to really resonate with the energy of Defyeneurs and this whole everyday people, because you've mentioned that a few times. This energy of everyday people doing extraordinary things. Tell me a bit about that.
It's like I said. I think all of us have the capability to be an influencer. You might be an influencer with your children. You might be an influencer with a coworker. We all have this capability to be an influencer. And I think that some of the great influencers of our lifetime and of the world, that's why I say I think they're not smarter or faster or more attractive or luckier than the rest, but they have that capacity to go inside themselves and really listen to that inner voice and becoming mindful of that. And so, but I do think all of us have the capability to be an influencer. And I think it's just a matter of listening to that inner voice, and you start with helping one person at a time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Jenni, share with us, what energy do you desire to see live on?
Well, you mentioned it earlier, but my favorite word, I love positive expectancy. And why do I say that? Because, you hear a lot of people talk about positive attitude. And number one, it tends to be that cliche term, but it also seems to be very passive. Positive attitude just seems very passive. But when you say positive expectancy, it is that energy of expectancy that is what drives us forward into new tomorrows. And so that energy of expectancy also is what fosters this mindful awareness of each conscious moment. I truly believe that our long-term achievement depends 100% on the quality of our choices on a moment-by-moment basis. But expectancy is also what encourages us to live above our circumstances rather than in them. And it also can allow us to see all of life as incomplete rather than wrong. And it's one that I think that it believes in the potential goodness in everyone.
I love it. It's becoming my new favorite word, expectancy, Jenni. I use that word. I'm going to be quoting you, so it's fantastic.
Oh, good.
Jenni, share with us. You're being published in a new book that follows this magazine issue called Influence, along with 10 other women that are inspiring change in the world. And this book is coming out in August. And this is an exciting time to see your story and your wisdom and your energy being published in this book. How does that feel? Tell me about that.
I sometimes have to just pinch myself that it's really happening. I mean, I really do. I mean, I'll give you an example today. I happened to post on Facebook today that my involvement with being published in Influence, and I read all these comments that people have written on Facebook, and it almost just brings me to tears because I am beyond humbled and beyond honored to be featured in this. And like I said, sometimes I just have to pinch myself and go, oh my gosh, is this really happening? So I think it is such a great honor. And it's funny because I sometimes don't know that I ever would have called myself an influencer. And I think that's just because I'm just doing what I love doing, which is helping people grow and achieve. So it's funny, I think, when now, having this label of, I am an influencer, it's funny because I don't know that I would ever say that about myself because I'm just, like I said, I'm just doing what I love, and it's helping people achieve and grow. And then I read some of these things that from posting my being published in Influencers, I read the comments on Facebook, and I'm just literally brought to tears that me being able to do what I love, that it's had an impact on the people it has is truly just an amazing thing, and one that just humbles me and makes me just once again be thankful for all the many blessings in my life.
I love it. I love it. It brings me to tears. You're doing what you love, helping people achieve and grow. Jenni Byrd Grier, pages 8 and 9 of the new Influence issue, and we call this profile Think Proactively. Jenni, on behalf of Defyeneurs and everyday people doing extraordinary things, we want to thank you for contributing your amazing inspiration and influence in this issue of Defyeneurs. Thank you so much.
You are welcome, and thank you, Gerry. I love the energy around this, and I'm just excited to see the ripple effect of inspired change that this can create.